This Time and Temperature is sponsored by Toyota of Orlando, Toyota of Claremont. This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning. Coverage you can count on.
Right now on Eyewitness News this morning, breaking news in Orlando as 2 police officers are now in critical condition after a shooting in downtown Orlando.
Officers were investigating a vehicle wanted for a homicide in Miami. During the stop, the suspect shot 2 of our officers.
We have live team coverage on the search for 2 suspects. And we'll take you live to the hospital for the latest on the condition of those officers. Good morning. It is Saturday, August 5th. I'm Shannon Butler. We first brought you this stories as it was breaking on WFTV tonight at 11. Here's what we know right now. Just before 11 last night, Orlando police officers approached a car near Garland and Washington. Police say the car was connected to a homicide in Miami. Someone inside that car shot and wounded 2 officers, then carjacked another vehicle and took off. A short time later, there was a massive police presence at an apartment complex in Apopka. We saw a flatbed towing away a car matching the description of the one that was stolen after the shooting. But so far, no information or sign of the 2 suspects police say they're looking for. We have live team coverage of this major breaking news. Channel 9's Daryl Matthews is live at that scene in Apopka. Nick Papantonis is still in downtown Orlando shortly after that shooting happened. He arrived there, but first, let's go right to Channel 9's Sam Martello outside Orlando Regional Medical Center. Sam, any update on those officers?
Shannon, no, not right now. What we know is that those 2 Orlando police officers are in critical condition and fighting for their lives here at Orlando Regional Medical Center. Now, just moments ago, we saw Chief Eric Smith walk out of the hospital, get into a vehicle, and they drove away south on Orange Avenue with lights and sirens going. So we aren't sure why that is, but that happened just about 5 minutes ago. Now we're going to take you right to some video from this morning. We saw tow trucks tow away 2 OPD police cars from outside of the hospital. We don't know exactly why they were towed, but they were taken away right before 5:30. Earlier at around 2, Chief Eric Smith was here. He gave a very quick briefing. He said his officers approached a car connected to a homicide in Miami when a suspect shot the officers. The suspect then carjacked a vehicle and took off down I-4. Chief Smith had a strong message for the suspects who are still out there.
We are right now actively looking for suspects. I want to thank the other agencies that are assisting us with this manhunt. We have 2 officers here at OMC who are in critical condition. This is a sad day for our department. For the suspects out there, we will find you and you will be brought to justice.
Now, we don't know how many times these officers were shot. All we know is they both are in critical condition. We are hoping to get an update on their condition sometime this morning, but as of right now, that is all that we know. And we are going to, of course, continue to follow this throughout the morning and continue to pray for them, their families, and this entire department. But for now, live in Orlando, Sam Martello, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Detectives spent all night and this morning collecting evidence overnight in downtown Orlando. That is where that scene of that shooting happened at Garland and Washington. Our live team coverage continues with Nick Papantonis, who got there shortly after that shooting. It's where he has been all night and into the morning. Nick, what do you know now?
Well, we have a couple of updates for you at the top of the hour. First, Garland Avenue here is open to the public for the first time since the shooting happened. The street, this segment especially, was locked down 15 minutes after the shooting happened till literally 8 o'clock on the nose here. That coincided with the arrival of 3 tow trucks about 30 minutes ago. We saw them in the last 30 minutes carry away 3 different vehicles from this parking lot right behind the crime scene investigation van. We saw a red sedan, a silver sedan, and a black pickup truck. 2 of the cars appear to have blood stains on them, possibly from the shooting that happened this morning. The 3rd one still not clear why that vehicle is of interest. This is where the shooting happened. We had a crew with police shooting a story at the time. It was unrelated to anything that happened tonight. They witnessed police rush out of the building after their briefing at the beginning of their shift. Heard 4 shots coming from behind the police substation right by the railroad tracks here on Washington, and then witnessed officers giving aid to some of their own. That is what prompted a massive response here to downtown Orlando, where we had blocks and blocks of this city shut down. We had many departments from around the area coming to Orlando Police's aid to make sure the scene was secure. A perimeter was established. Of course, we found out that the suspects got out of downtown Orlando, at least believed to have gotten out of downtown Orlando. They used Garland Avenue apparently as a ramp to get onto I-4. It's very common for drivers here. And they've made their way to Apopka, where we believe the manhunt is still ongoing right now. Daryl Matthews, our reporter, is going to be out there, and he hopefully maybe have some updates on that end. For now, live in Orlando, Nick Papantonis, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Now, after the shooting, as Nick said, law enforcement swarmed an apartment complex in Apopka looking for the suspects. That's where Daryl Matthews picks up our live team coverage.
Yeah, exactly. Earlier, we did see a lot of those flashing lights, but as soon as they left, we got the opportunity to be first on a new scene where we're now seeing an active scene of OPD swarming. What we are now learning is the Meriden Meadows apartment complex. Now, this is where about 8 officers have arrived to this scene, and we also have a crime scene investigation surrounding one building, and this sky view that you're seeing from Drone 9 is of the Meriden Meadows apartment complex, where OPD has been concentrating on this one building inside the parking lot. The building blocked off with the crime scene tape, and about 30 minutes ago, as I said, crime scene investigation unit arrived, and people that I spoke with off camera tell me this is also the parking lot where they saw the black SUV we believe was the vehicle carjacked from the downtown area get towed. Now, again, we are still learning a lot about this as it continues to develop, and in the time that we have been here, we've seen officers searching through the grassy area looking for the suspects that we believe are the ones that they're searching for that has to do with that shooting earlier. And we're trying to figure out the connection of the building, if it has to do with the shooting of those 2 officers. For now, we're live in Apopka. Daryl Matthews, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Stay with Channel 9 and WFTV.com for the very latest on the search for those suspects. And we will have live updates from the hospital on the condition of the officers. Well, the Mega Millions jackpot will roll over again as no one picked all the numbers to claim that huge jackpot. The jackpot will now grow to an incredible $1.55 billion for the next drawing on Tuesday. That would set a new record for the largest jackpot ever for the Mega Millions game. The one-time lump sum cash jackpot is $757.2 million. Last night's drawing was the 31st time. The jackpot has rolled over. That last winner was on April 18th. For just a measly $20 million. I think we have a better chance of guessing what the weather will be today.
You know
than winning the lottery.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're a Florida resident, even if you've been here just one summer, you know it's going to be hot, steamy with probably some afternoon storms. Now, today it's going to be a little bit more amplified, both in the heat and our storm coverage. But yes, you probably have a good idea. We've got the upper 70s and low 80s outside right now. Heat index values upper 80s, even 90s. Cocoa Beach right now, it feels like 92. We're going to have a fast heat up today. You can see in Orlando by lunchtime, we're looking at heat index values of 103. So really about 10:30, we'll probably hit that 100-degree mark. We'll stay there most of the afternoon. And again, levels today hitting about 102 to 107. We're also going to see some showers and storms, a little bit more amplified in our coverage. We take outside now. Most of us are dry. We do have some isolated showers as we get up in parts of far northeastern Marion County, and even a little bit of light shower activity over in parts of Flagler County. But again, most of us will stay dry through the lunch hour. We get closer to the afternoon and into the evening. That's when we'll start to see our rain and storm chance increase, and really holding on to some of these rain and storm chances later into our night, even into our late night hours, which I'm going to update those models, and I'll take you hour by hour through that chance coming up right after the break. Shannon.
We continue to follow breaking news as Orlando police search for 2 suspects who shot 2 Orlando police officers. Here is a live look at that scene in downtown Orlando from our drone. You can see investigators still out there working the scene. In the meantime, it's all hands on deck as there is a manhunt going on for the 2 suspects. We will also soon have a live report from the Orlando Regional Medical Center where those 2 officers are right now. And next, a man bought tickets for cheap in the hopes of seeing soccer star Messi. Action 9 found out why the seller was able to cancel the order once prices skyrocketed.
Drone 9, only on Channel 9 Eyewitness News, getting you closer over the scene of breaking news.
Drone 9, sponsored by StrataAC.com. You ought to call Strata.
We've covered storms moving over 90 miles an hour. We don't wait until the storm is hammering down on your house.
With our weather, you have downpours, but then you have Central Florida downpours. And we have the best technology here in Severe Weather Center 9.
Early warning Doppler 9, our local radar that we use all the time, looking at fast-moving storms so you can take those early steps to keep your family safe.
We've got you covered coast, inland, wherever you are.
Everyone that we broadcast to, you're like our extended family. We're here to take care of you.
Severe weather updates on WFTV are driven by Toyota of Orlando and Toyota of Claremont.
Good Saturday morning, and thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Cassandra Cremy, and our time right now, 8:15, right on the dot. We take you outside live over in Cocoa Beach. A lot of early morning sunshine and Cocoa Beach. I'm showing you this live shot because you've got some of the bigger numbers for us early this morning. Temperature-wise, most of us are right at around 78 to 80 degrees, so we're not talking about the actual air temperature, but we're talking about the mugginess, which is making it feel hotter. Again, a lot of us have heat index values that are in the mid-80s already, but Cocoa Beach, you are the first one to hit that 90-degree mark. 92 degrees is the live heat index for you. Now, most of us are dry this morning. We've had a couple of little showers moving into parts of Marion County, most of which have been kind of in rural portions of Marion County, right on the county line. We've had a couple of little light sprinkles as well in parts of Flagler County. And the setup for today, we kind of have a 1-2 punch. We're really going to heat up, which is going to drive in the sea breeze, which will be kind of a one trigger for the showers and storms. But we also have this boundary layer nearby, and it kind of has been meandering north and south. That's kind of what gave us a little push of energy last night for the showers and storms. And the little dip southward will continue to send some of that moisture and energy in our direction, helping our rain and storm chance out. So as we go hour by hour through the day today, we have, again, not just the amplified chance for rain and storms, but we also have the amplified heat again. Cocoa Beach, most of the day, you'll be in the upper 80s, but your heat index already in the 90s will stay there through 10 o'clock. And then we're in the triple digits. You can see 100, 101 for multiple hours today with showers and storms as we head towards the second half of the day. So scattered in variety through the second half of the day and very, very hot. We'll hit about 94 degrees, heat index values 102 to 107. Not quite advisory levels, but I think as we head into next week, we're going to see more heat and even see the heat index over 108 in some communities, which means an advisory would be issued. So don't be surprised if you see that for the last few days of summer break. But a lot of low to mid 90s in place for today with the scattered showers and storms headed our way. Best chance again 5 to 11 for today. Tomorrow we'll have another good dose of rain and storms, but it's going to be on the hotter side. Then if we keep you updated on what we've got going on in the tropics, what we've got going on, not a whole lot, which is something we also like to report as we head through the month of August. Next 7 days, not expecting much development. There's really not great conditions out in the Atlantic. We have a couple of waves, but we always have a couple of waves coming off the coast of Africa, so we'll continue to monitor those. But our 7-day forecast, take a look at those numbers. We talked about getting hotter tomorrow. We get even hotter still next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, peaking at 96. Shannon.
A Central Florida man scored tickets to see soccer superstar Messi when his Inter Miami team faces off against Orlando City next month. But weeks after he ordered the tickets from StubHub for a great price, he says the company pulled the rug out from under him and canceled the sale. Action 9's Jeff Deal has a look at why he didn't get the tickets and the dangers of buying tickets from a secondary marketplace. We put the full statement from StubHub on the situation on our website at WFTV.com. Well, the summer break is almost over for Central Florida students. Why this weekend is a good time to get what you need for back to school. Time now for this week's Feel Whole moment.
Feeling joy or inspiration? These are the moments that make us feel whole. Take a look at this week's Feel Whole moment. Tom Neville from sunny Maitland, Florida, shared this adorable moment of a lovely mama swan, 3 precious newborns, also known as cygnets, and 1 eagerly awaited egg about to hatch. It's a scene straight out of a fairy tale. As soon as these adorable cygnets break out of their shells, they're covered in a soft and fluffy down. You won't believe it, but within just a few hours, they're already running and swimming like pros. Tom happened to be in the right place at the right time when he captured this heart-melting moment on camera. If you experienced a joyous or inspiring moment, share it with us at WFTV.com/share. Feel Whole Moments on WFTV are sponsored by Advent Health.
And we are staying on top of breaking news this morning. Next, we will have live team coverage on this search for the 2 suspects responsible for shooting and critically injuring 2 police officers in downtown Orlando.
And another steamy day, which I'll take you hour by hour through the details coming up.
This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning. Coverage you can count on.
This is a sad day for our department. For the suspects out there, we will find you and you will be brought to justice.
A tough statement from Orlando Police Chief Eric Smith overnight. 2 officers are in critical condition right now after a shooting in downtown Orlando. And at this hour, the search continues for the suspects. Good morning. It is Saturday, August 5th. I'm Shannon Butler. We are following breaking news here in Orlando, where 2 police officers are in critical condition after a shooting in downtown. We have live team coverage spread out across Central Florida. Channel 9's Daryl Matthews is live in Apopka, where officers search for those suspects. Nick Papantonis is in downtown where the shooting happened. But first, let's go right to Channel 9's Sam Martello outside Orlando Regional Medical Center. Sam, Chief said those officers are fighting for their lives. Stay with Channel 9 and WFTV.com for the very latest on the search for the suspects responsible in this shooting. We'll have live updates from the hospital on the condition of the officers. Meanwhile, Cocoa police are looking for the person they say shot a coach during a youth football practice. It happened Tuesday night at Don Stradley Memorial Park. Police say that man punched his ex-girlfriend and then shot a coach who came to help her. The coach shot back. He was grazed by a bullet, but police say the suspect is a convicted felon who shouldn't have a gun in the first place. Well, ballistics experts conducted a reenactment of the 2018 mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School yesterday. The test was part of a civil lawsuit against former Broward Deputy Scott Peterson. He was acquitted last month of criminal charges accusing him of not doing enough to stop the shooter. Technicians plan to record the sound of gunfire, looking to capture what Peterson heard during that attack. Peterson has claimed he didn't hear the shots and couldn't pinpoint where they were coming from. Well, shortly before that reenactment, 9 members of Congress toured the blood-stained halls at the school. Florida Democratic Representative Jared Moskowitz organized the tour with Republican Representative Mario Diaz-Balart. Members of the victims' families were also there, and parents hope the visit by 6 Democrats and 3 Republicans from the House School Safety and Security Caucus sparks new school safety measures. Well, federal investigators are trying to figure out what caused the engine of a small plane to fail and crash into the front yard of a Port Orange home. Take a look. The plane crashed into the yard just after takeoff yesterday morning from the Spruce Creek Airport. The pilot tried to use a tree canopy to soften the landing, which caused the plane to flip. The 2 people inside the plane managed to walk away from the crash. One had to be taken to the hospital, but is expected to be okay. People living in the area tell us it's not the first time they've had a plane crash here.
Could have been in your yard.
Yes, sir. Just a block over. It's scary, but like I said, thankfully no one is hurt. That's the main thing. You don't expect it, but it happens.
The NTSB and FAA are investigating the crash. Well, the crew of the International Space Station is unpacking tons of supplies today. Coming up next, the new equipment that could make space travel safer for astronauts on future missions.
And early morning sunshine will be followed by showers and storms later this afternoon. Also, a very hot day in store. I'll be taking you hour by hour through those numbers coming up.
The time now is 8:40 this morning. Here is a live look at our coast. It is a beautiful start to your Saturday, but if you've walked outside, you know it is August.
It is, and it is very muggy, and it is going to remain that way as we head through the day. Outside now, we have upper 70s and low 80s for those live temperatures, but heat index values already the mid-upper 80s, even some of our first 90s of the day over in Cocoa Beach, and we are going to exceed those 90s today, hitting the triple digits. Look at this timeline. Orlando today, 103 at noon, 104 at the 2 o'clock hour. Again, some big numbers, not quite advisory level, but it is going to be a scorcher out there. We've also had a couple of showers moving into our far northern zones on the lighter side, but now starting to cross over into that far northern county line as we head into Volusia County. You can see as we get a little bit closer, just to the right as we get towards the Flagler Volusia County line is where we have some of those scattered showers. And there will be more rain today. today. Most of it's going to hold off until this afternoon and evening. We're going to see a good 60% chance of showers and storms today with temperatures in the mid-90s. It gets a little bit hotter tomorrow. The heat index is going to climb for us, although we're seeing 94 for both days. But also we've got good chances for showers and storms each day. I'm going to update those models, and I'll take you hour by hour through your Saturday rain chance so you can plan your day ahead. All coming up. Shannon.
Right now, more than 8,000 pounds of new supplies and research are at the International Space Station. We showed you the docking process live during Eyewitness News yesterday morning. The Cygnus spacecraft launched from Virginia on Tuesday, and it included in the cargo are some new experiments on the spacecraft for fire protection. There is also a new water dispenser that provides hot water and improves sanitation. Meanwhile, NASA has picked Axiom Space for another private astronaut mission to the International Space Station. NASA says it's part of the effort to make space more accessible for private research. The mission is expected to spend up to 14 days docked at the ISS. NASA says potential crew candidates are being screened now. The launch is targeted for no earlier than August 2024 from the Kennedy Space Center. Well, big changes for an Orlando organization coming up. How the changes will help the New Image Youth Center in Paramore help even more kids. Released, but we have just learned it is one female officer and one male officer involved in this officer-involved shooting. At least one officer, we are told, was shot in the neck. Fellow officers transported them to the hospital, which is not far. That hospital on South Orange Avenue, not far from where that shooting happened on Washington and Garland, no doubt helping those efforts for officers to provide aid. We are still following this breaking news story as there are two suspects police are still looking for. We are working to get a condition on those two officers, but as you can imagine, it is a tense scene here in Orlando as officers try to track those suspects down. But in the meantime, an organization that helps hundreds of Paramore children now has a permanent place to call home. Drone 9 flew over where New Image Youth Center is going to move in. Channel 9's Q McRae shows us what this means for the community. The $1 million buys the building, but it isn't enough for renovations. Heart of Florida New Image Youth Center are hoping for matching donations from the community. They hope to tear down the current building and build a new center or add a second story to the current structure. Well, if you're heading to the beach in Brevard County this morning, you may notice two new lifeguard towers. One is at the Boardwalk in Indian Atlantic. The other is at Spezard Holland. They are both staffed full-time by Brevard County Ocean Rescue. And I imagine, Cassie, there will be a lot of people out there. Yeah. I know it's only 8:48 in the morning, but
right. Well, and this is probably
this is the best time.
Yeah, it really is. It's the coolest time. You're not dodging any raindrops. But later this afternoon, we're going to have both of those. Very, very hot showers and storms also headed our direction later today. But taking you over to Cocoa Beach, just a beautiful start to our day. A lot of morning sunshine. Temperature-wise, a lot of us in the upper 70s to low 80s. We're at 80 in Sanford and Orlando. But you factor in the humidity already. You can see that it is feeling steamier, to say the least. In Daytona Beach, the heat index is 81. In Cocoa Beach, where I was just showing you that live shot, 92 for the live heat index. And many of us will not just hit the 90s, but we're going to hit the triple digits as we head through the day today. We're also going to see an increased chance for some showers and storms, which we've had a little bit of moisture moving through parts of Marion. Now, right along the county line, just south of Crescent City, as we get up into parts of Volusia and into Flagler County for us. A lot of the moisture is still to the north of us, and we kind of have this boundary just to the north that's kind of been meandering the last couple of days. Yesterday it meandered a little bit further south. That gave us that little pulse of energy last night. We could see that again today. So as it does small dips, we'll have that increased chance for showers and storms. So our 7-day forecast with the weekend always in view, 94 today and tomorrow with 60% chances for showers and storms. Again, feeling much hotter than that 94, and it gets even hotter still next week. Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll look for a high of about 96, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have heat advisories issued into next week. Shannon.
We've been following the best deals from local businesses. Here's today's local steals and deals. Here's a live look from our downtown tower cam. It is a beautiful start to your Saturday. It is going to be very hot, and you can expect rain this afternoon. We will have much more coming up. Soon you'll need to make sure you give yourself enough time to catch a Frontier flight. The company announced all check-in and baggage drop counters will close 60 minutes before the flight's departure time. Currently, passengers have until 45 minutes before the flight to check a bag. Spokesperson for the carrier told USA Today that the change is intended to make the check-in process more uniform and allow time for bags to get on the planes. The change goes into effect on August 16th. Well, this morning, landlines in Florida continue to be cut as more people turn to wireless phones or other options. The new state report shows about 900,000 landlines were in use in Florida in 2022. That's about 19.5% fewer than in 2021. It's also a huge drop from a peak of about 12 billion 2 decades ago when Florida had a population of about 16 million. For the 12th consecutive year, the majority of landlines were used, as you can guess, by businesses. Well, if you've been waiting to finish your school supply shopping this weekend, is a good time to get it done because tomorrow is the last day of the state's back-to-school sales tax holiday. Eligible items include school supplies that cost $50 or less, clothing $100 or less, and personal computers less than $1,500. Other sales tax holiday for school supplies is set for January. Well, we know the back-to-school process can be a financial burden for so many families. That's why 9 Family Connection has teamed up with the Hope Now Foundation once again for our Backpackathon virtual school supply drive. We've made it easy for you to help. You can shop online for a backpack, including supplies which will be given to Central Florida students that are in need. Visit 9family.com to shop online to make a difference in a student's life. I love those backpackathons. I think that's so great. It's amazing how much you have to, your kids aren't yet in school, but it's so much stuff. You're like, have to get a whole list and check it off.
Yeah, and just to think that it's back to school time already is stressful.
It is.
It's stressful.
So is the weather. It's also stressful for me. Look at those 90s.
It's adding extra stress. Yes, we have mid-90s today, tomorrow, 94 degrees, feeling more like 102 to 107 today. It's going to feel a little bit hotter tomorrow with that humidity and even hotter still next week. So that 95 to 96 getting close to record territory. I don't think we're going to be quite there, just falling shy by a few degrees. But as we get into that 96 degree range on Tuesday and Wednesday, heat index values could breach that 107 mark, which means heat advisories would be issued just before we go back to
Just before.
Yes.
Thank you for watching Channel 9 Eyewitness News. Remember, you can get the latest weather and news at WFTV.com anytime during the day. Good Morning America is next. We'll see you again at noon for an update on that officer-involved shooting. Until then, have a great day.
Let our team get you ready.
Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning.